Hey, this is Christina Preiss from TNN Radio. We're here at House of Blues San Diego to see one of my favorite bands, Bloc Party. Have you ever played in San Diego before?
We were here about 4 or 5 years ago. I think that was the last time we played in San Diego, so it's been a long time. We played in some kind of amphitheatre on one of the college campuses here. I think it was for a radio station, I forget which one, but I remember we were playing with Interpol.
And I know a lot of your earlier records were kind of almost organized chaos. There was all this energy, and now this record is a bit more restrained, a bit more polished.
Sure.
Do you think that just happens with age?
I feel like our bodies aren't quite capable of doing the things that we used to do. I've become a bit more focused, and I've kind of grown to learn what works and what doesn't. I think, I'm proud of those early records, but some of what you hear is kind of the sound of all people figuring out what they're meant to be doing.
At the end of the gig at the observatory, you were in jean shorts that looked very 80s and no shirt on, and you just came out and you're standing at the end of the stage just for more applause and more applause. And
I think it's amusing to us to kind of be, somewhat over the top sometimes, because, I think, in real life we're quite restrained. I've grown to become very fond of those jean shorts, but I've left them on the. It turns out they're like 4 miles away on the tour bus. I didn't realise that the tour bus was really in the venue, so I can't be bothered to go and get them. I'm just going to be wearing regular swimming trunks today. I've worn those shorts every day on tour for the last year, and I have washed them some.
Some things will never be different. Hungry down. Queue it up for some more junk food. It's not my fault.
is it different playing to crowds in the States versus back home?
In the UK, we're used to playing in front of 14, 15-year-olds who, have gained access to alcohol somehow and who are really drunk and over the top. And here, when we play all ages shows, it's a different kind of thing because definitely have kind of younger people who are a bit more sober at the front. Going that's crazy. It's not a bad thing, but I think that's the main difference.
You guys took a break before the record, and it wasn't necessarily a breakup, but it was like people needed time to do their own thing and everything had been moving so fast. Do you think you would have been capable of this record at that time when you guys were sort of really, really popular, but there wasn't time to create as much because you were touring so much?
I think we would have struggled to go straight into making a full record. I think we've grown somewhat weary of being on tour and being around each other. We definitely needed that break. We could have done a record, but I think it would have sounded very different. I don't think it would have been as cohesive sounding maybe as full turned out to be.
Do you like the remix sound or the dance party sound? It seemed like I heard Silent Alarm, I was like, oh, I'm in love with this, and then someone gave me Intimacy and I was like, is that the same band?
Right.
It was so different. Is that something that Kelly chooses, or is that a direction that all of you guys wanted to go?
I think generally Kelly kind of takes, more of a dominant creative role in the band. It's in many ways it's his baby, I suppose. My personal preference is to make music that sounds a little bit more kind of live, but that's just because I like performing. That doesn't mean to say that I disregard intimacy. I definitely learned a lot about having to play, among kind of synthesizers and drum machines. It was definitely a good learning experience for me.
Do you remember what it was like the first time you walked out on stage in front of a crowd, that feeling?
The first time we walked out on stage in front of a large audience was in Japan.
Oh, wow.
We had gone from playing in front of maybe 300, 400 people to playing in front of a couple of thousand people at a festival. We'd never done that before, and it was terrifying. And we played really badly, and we didn't know what was happening at all.
On the record, my favorite song, is it pronounced Kettling or Kettling?
Depends where you're from, really.
Yeah.
Your first pronunciation was kind of like a Cockney London.
Kettling.
Kettling.
Yeah, that's how I thought it might be.
Kettling, I guess. It's one way of pronouncing Kettling or Kettling.
Kettling.
Well, yeah, I think that song was kind of inspired by the riots that took place in London a few years ago. The Kettling is a police tactic for kind of basically funneling crowds into a certain space and containing them. And when we were talking about making a video, we were trying to find a more. We're trying to find a different kind of analogy for that, and we were talking about the kind of games we used to play as kids. And Red Rover in the UK is called British Bulldog.
Okay.
But like, yeah, in the end, you're trying to like capture, like, you're having to make your way from one side of the playground to the other, and like, in the end, there's a big group of people, like sometimes linking arms to try and stop the people getting through. We thought that was quite. I don't know, we felt that was kind of evocative.
I watched a couple of videos on YouTube with you and your dad cooking with the tongs,
right?
Which obvious joke. What is that? Where did that come about?
We did this thing with the Guardian newspaper where we kind of took over the kind of art section of the paper with the website for a week, and we all kind of contributed different things. Gordon wrote an article about some bands he liked, and Kelly did an Agony Uncle kind of column where he was trying to help people with their problems, and I decided it'd be funny to make a cooking video. But my dad used to be a chef, so I thought that would be kind of fun to include him.
What are some of your favorite things to do to pass time when you're on the road? Kelly said he was watching a lot of reality TV at some point, and that sparked one of the songs.
He loves reality TV. He can often be found giggling to himself in the corner of the dressing room, watching some kind of reality show or another. Like, he can definitely, I think it helps him clear his mind a bit.
My last question is, I've been playing drums for the last year and a half now.
Wow, okay.
So I figured that if I held your hand, that maybe the drum fill for Helicopter would come to me by osmosis.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
I'm going to try that when I get home.
Okay.
I love that militant sort of like machine gun rapid fire sound that you have.
Right.
So maybe that will.
It's a lot of coffee. It's a lot of coffee. That's where it comes. A lot of coffee and anxiety. I think that's where most of those feels come from.
Yeah. I also saw an interview where you and Kelly were talking about his upcoming sex change operation.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Did that ever end up materializing?
It went. Unfortunately, it went really wrong. Now, he's of no designated sex now. Like they really screwed up the operation, so he's kind of like I don't know.
Eunuch?
He's like a eunuch, yeah. That's right.